So if you really want to learn how to use vibrational energy as an actual business strategy, there's a few things that I need you to know. Number one, manifestation is not magic. It's not available to some people and not somebody else, because manifestation is a science. Second of all, manifestation isn't just about sitting around looking at a vision board. It isn't about so much about what you see. It's about what you feel. And I'll talk to you about that in 1 second. And number three, I like to call it the slipstream of alignment. Basically what that means is when you're in that vibrational frequency that is the same frequency as the dreams that you have, the goals that you have, you're now in this slipstream. So every little bit of thing that you do has far more power. There is a creative force at work that doesn't require your input other than staying in that vibration. I know it seems very counterintuitive. I know we're taught to be very strategic and we're taught to plan things out. And of course you need the strategy in your business. But one of the main reasons I see so many amazing online business people fail is because they're so wrapped up in the strategy that they either forget or they don't understand or they don't learn that their vibrational frequency, which is directly aligned with what they think is true about themselves and their ability to succeed, if that isn't set at a good point, then everything they're doing is, well, their action's being diluted. The outcome is being diluted because their vibrational energy is saying, this isn't going to work for me. This is never going to happen for me. I'm not good enough. La 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 la. And so the action's happening, but the vibration is creating an outcome that doesn't match their action. I hope I've kind of explained that well enough. So when we get into that vibrational alignment, what happens is, just like I explained before in the previous episode, and I'll put a link below, that our brain is wired to always answer our questions. When we're in the slipstream of alignment, we're in this vibration where we're attracting more things that line up with that. And that's why I say that seeing something isn't necessarily necessary. And if you think about this, I wonder how big your dreams really are. And let me just share a story with you. So I was on a coaching call in a group I'm in recently. And the guy who runs this group was talking about how he and a group of friends every year go to this kind of like 5-star resort in Fiji, like this little island in Fiji, and there's like a 7-year wait list, and they go first class and la la la. And I was like, I have never thought about hiring an island in Fiji. It's not necessarily, I didn't think it was possible at the time. It was just I'd never had that thought. So sometimes when you focus on the vision, you're limiting the outcome. Because if you haven't seen it, if you haven't heard about it, if you're not actively seeking a different outcome, you're going to stick with what you've already seen and what you already to believe is possible. When we focus on a feeling, universe, matrix, God, infinite, whatever you want to call it, has limitless outcomes in that same vibration that you couldn't consciously create at this current level of your consciousness. Don't ask me to repeat that because that just came through and I don't know where that came from. But you'll get it. If you know. So let's step into the exercise straight off and I'll stop talking. So finding a way to... Oh, and the last thing I want to say actually is that one of the things that changed everything for me as well, because when I say I see things, I feel it, and then somehow I manage to create that feeling into words to say what I'm seeing. So I don't actually visualize it. And so I used to think that I couldn't visualize, and therefore it was a pointless exercise for me until I started listening to Greg Braden. And Greg Braden describes beautifully how not only do we have a pocket of about 40,000 cells in our heart that function almost exactly the same as the brain, and yet they are separate from the brain, and they've got memory and they remember, but also that our brain has a higher magnetic frequency and a higher energetic frequency than the brain. So the seat of manifestation is our heart, because that's where we feel. So vibrational alignment is all about being able to rehearse, being in the vibration of the energy of having the thing that you want already. So let's just say, for instance, you've got this vision of success. Like, you want your life to look like this. This is what your business looks like. This is how much you're earning. This is where you live. This is what you do, da, da, da. You need to dig underneath that. Take away the superficial haves and go underneath and say, what does it feel like in here? What do I feel like in this picture that I don't necessarily feel like now? And get really clear on that. Maybe you've got a sense of expansion. Maybe you've got a sense of freedom. Maybe there's excitement or joy, or, you've got to get clear on the feeling, because the feeling state is the creative state. And then every single day, your primary role is to find moments in the day to sit and be in that frequency, to let the smile come across your face, to let your body physically embrace that frequency, so that every single cell is in that frequency. And here's what's really good. When you allow yourself to just be in the frequency, you don't have to see the picture. You don't have to go, oh, like, where am I living and what am I doing and exactly how does this work? Because the minute we get into that mindset, our conscious mind clicks in. And if you're like me, when we feel like we don't always have the pathway, we actually can lose our confidence and we can stop taking action. So stepping into the feeling state lets you just put that over there and lets you say, you know what, universe, you have the best outcome for me. I don't have the best outcome, and I trust science to bring me the best outcome for me if I just focus on my frequency. And that's what you need to do. And that's why you absolutely must go back and listen to the previous episode, specifically around, feelings and frequencies, because it marries up with this exercise specifically. If you love this, I want you to make sure, please, that you leave me a comment, do subscribe to the channel, and make sure you've hit the bell, because next week is the last episode in the success series. And I'm talking about psychology mastery. I'm talking about how you can finally become the master of your mind rather than the servant, so you can direct all these other things. You can direct your energy, your physical, mental, and emotional energy, vibrational energy that we just talked about. You can direct your courage. You can direct your thinking. And when you do all those things, there is nothing that you can't do. Everything becomes possible. No matter where you are, no matter where you started, no matter what you want. It all becomes possible when you learn how to direct your thinking. So make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video.